Hey guys, how are you doing? All right, today we're going to talk about present perfect, but not present perfect. We're going to talk about the adverbs that we use in present perfect. We're going to talk about 5 adverbs only. There are, of course, more, but we're going to focus on these 5 for right now. The adverbs that we're going to see are going to be already, yet, ever and never, and before. All right, this is actually a very simple class. This is going to be a very simple video. And the best way I think to understand these adverbs are with examples. Now I need you to understand something. In the majority of the cases with these adverbs, the message of the sentence does not change at all. The sentence is the same if you put the adjective or if you, the adverb, or if you don't put the adverb. There's a The necessity to put the adverb is more related to the expectations of the other person, the person listening, but not the expectation of the person speaking. You'll see what I'm trying to say. Let's talk about already. Now let's put a situation. Let's imagine that your mother tells you to clean your room. All right? She gives you an hour to clean the room and then comes back to ask you about the fact of cleaning your room. She wants to know if you cleaned your room or if you didn't clean your room. Now the thing is, your mother does not think that you cleaned your room. All right? She thinks that you spend your time watching TV or doing something different, but she thinks that you did not clean your room. So she asks you, "Have you cleaned your room?" You will answer, or let's not say that she asks you, because if she asks you, you don't know her intentions. Let's say that she gives you a sentence that insinuates that you haven't cleaned your room. Let's say that after the hour, she tells you, "Hey, remember to go clean your room." Then you tell her, "I have already cleaned my room." Okay? So you include in the sentence the adverb already because you assume you understand that your mother doesn't think that you have cleaned your room. You include already to tell your mother that in contradiction to her expectations, you have cleaned your room. Now, notice that if I don't mention, like if I don't include already in the sentence, let's say that, for example, we eliminate the sentence or we eliminate the adverb and you say, "I have cleaned my room," the message is the same. You still transmit the information that you have cleaned your room, but you include already because you want to let her know that in contradiction to her expectations, you have done the action. All right? Normally, we only use already in affirmative situations. It is possible to use it in negative situations or in questions, but for now, we're only going to use it in affirmative situations. All right, let's move to yet. Let's imagine that you're thinking about an activity that you want to do. Your entire life, you've always wanted to do it, but you haven't done it. And you want to tell me that you haven't done it, but then you also want to tell me that you have intentions to do it. For example, in my case, I have always wanted to go skydiving. For those of you that don't know what skydiving is, this is what it is. Okay? And I have always wanted to go skydiving, but I have not gone skydiving. Now, I'm going to say that sentence, and then at the end, I'm going to include yet. And what this yet is telling me in this sentence is that no, I have not gone skydiving, but I have the intentions. I have plans to go skydiving at some point in my life. Somewhere in the future I'm going to go skydiving. All right? You can also use yet for questions. And this question gives me the implication that the person asking the question thinks that there's a possibility that you did the action. For example, let's say this same question, if this same sentence, let's transform it into a negative. So you would say, have you gone skydiving yet? Okay, so what I'm saying with this yet over here is that I think that it is possible that you have done this action already. We were talking about skydiving, and you told me that you were going to go skydiving. And when I ask you, I think, oh, I'm going to ask for confirmation, but I think it's possible that he already went skydiving. So I say, have you gone skydiving yet? All right. All right, let's talk about ever and never. There's really not a lot of situations where you're going to use ever. Usually we use ever in questions to emphasize the question. So I would say, for example, have you gone to Africa? All right. Or I could emphasize the question by saying, have you ever gone to Africa? All right. So in this situation, the adverb ever is not changing the sentence, or it's not changing the question at all. It is the same if you ask, have you gone to Africa? Or if you ask, have you ever gone to Africa? Ever is simply an emphasis on time, but there's no difference in the question. When you ask one question or the other question, you're asking the same thing. Now, ever has a negative form, which is never, right? And we can use negative in substitution of not to transform not or to transform a sentence into negative. So, for example, I could say, no, I have not gone to Africa. Or I can substitute not and just include never and say, no, I have never gone to Africa. Again, you are saying the same thing. If you say the negative form, I have not gone to Africa, or if you say I have never gone to Africa, the message is the same. All right. Now, let's talk about before. Before, again, is really no difference. And I assume that everybody's familiar with the definition of the word before. So you simply include before in your sentences to emphasize the sentence, but really there's no difference whatsoever. So for example, I could say, have you ever gone to Africa? Or I could say, have you ever gone to Africa before? Sorry, no. Um, you wouldn't that's a good point. That's a good point for us to remember. You would never use ever and before in the same question. And I'll explain why here. Let's say that, for example, I say, have you ever gone to Africa before? There's really nothing grammatically incorrect with this sentence, but ever shows emphasis on time. Before shows emphasis on time. So when you use ever and before in the same sentence, you're being redundant. So it is better to use one or the other. So in this case, we're studying before. I'm going to delete ever, and I'm going to say, have you gone to Africa before? And that's it. And then you can answer however you want. You can say, yes, I have gone to Africa before. Or you could say, no, I have not gone to Africa before. All right. So that's essentially what I'm going to talk about in terms of adverbs. There's one more thing that you want to remember, and that's the position of the adverb. Say, for example, I have the sentence, I have gone to Italy. All right. And I want to include already. Um, I want to include already, or I want to include, well, yet, no, because yet would be for a negative sentence. But let's say already. All right. If I want to include already, there are three places in the sentence where I can include it. The first place would be right here, at the very beginning of the sentence. So I would say, already I have gone to Italy. It is okay to put a comma before the sentence, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can consider that to be optional. A second place where you can put already is here, in between the auxiliary and the main verb. So you could say, I have already gone to Italy. All right. And the last place that you can put it is at the end of the sentence. So you can say, I have gone to Italy already. There's no necessity for comma on this one. The same thing will happen with yet for negative sentences. So if the sentence is, I have not gone to Italy, all right, and I'm going to delete this point over here. We can put yet at the end, like we've been doing it so far. We can put it here in between the auxiliary and the main verb, but after the negative. So it would be, I have not yet gone to Italy. But we do not put it at the beginning. All right. We can put it at the beginning, but the sentence have to change. And so we usually don't put it at the beginning. All right. Okay. So that's everything you need to know about present perfect adverbs.